Hello everyone. So, Aaron's gonna be in this video, and he's obsessed with jumping. Okay, so this video is going to be about how my 2-year-old reacted to his new baby brother when he was born, and also kind of how we transitioned, or how we took the transition from one child to two. When Aaron was first born and we brought him home, my other son was actually in the car. My husband came to pick us up with my son in the car. When William first saw, he had actually come to visit the day before we left the hospital. And when he walked in, he was just happy to see me because he hadn't seen me for like 24 hours, which is like the longest we've ever been away from each other. So when William met his brother, he didn't really acknowledge his existence. In the hospital, we expected that because he was kind of in a strange place, and he's always like been really shy like that. He was more like, what is that thing? Because the whole pregnancy we had been talking about, they have a baby, your baby brother's in mommy's belly. And so he was like, he knew about that, and he was like, cool, whatever, like he didn't care. My second son was born, my first son was 2 years and 2 months old. So he was like old enough to kind of communicate, you know, definitely has his own attitude and personality. so when he came to meet his brother, he was just kind of like, okay, whatever, like he wasn't interested really in him. So when we got home the first night, William just ignored him. Actually, he just ignored him for the first few weeks / maybe even up to a whole month. He ignored his baby brother. We didn't want to push it. We had done some preparation with him, like don't poke the baby in the eye, that whole thing. But we hadn't really had the opportunity, obviously, because he's never been around a baby before, so he didn't even know what was going to happen. At 2, you don't really understand very much. I mean, you understand, but you know, you deal with it in your own way. He definitely dealt with it in his own way. He ignored the baby. We bought him a train set the first day that we were home. Just to be like, oh look, your brother got you a train set, and he was, you know, really happy about the train set, but he just did not want to be around his brother. He would look at him, kind of, but if you caught him looking at him, he'd like look away, like, oh, I'm not looking at him. But we just let him be, because honestly, there was nothing you could really do. I wasn't going to force him on the baby. If he didn't want to be around the baby, he didn't want to be around the baby, but he had to learn that he was not going anywhere. You know what I mean? I was really worried. I thought he was going to be super jealous. The only time that he ever showed any kind of jealousy signs were like if I was holding the baby for a really long time. Like this one, this little munchkin was a difficult newborn. When he was first born, he was fine for like a week. Then he got colic, which I expected because my first son was like that, William was like that. But he just didn't want to sleep, which was weird, because with William, he was colicky and he was crying all day, but at night, at least he was sleeping. He was just bad. Finally, when we got into a rhythm with him, when I got used to him, I think every baby you get used to, he was fine, but the lack of sleep really took a toll on me for like the first month. For me, very smooth transition. To me, it was, the only thing that was really stressful was, for me at least, was like mommy guilt, which is stupid to have because your kids never are going to be like, oh, you did this more with him when they're 2. I felt guilty. Like I felt like, oh my god, like my poor baby. He was really close to me, like especially my whole pregnancy. We just like napped together. We were just super close. And then it was like all of a sudden this baby is like on mommy's boob all day. He didn't care. William didn't affect him. He still came over and hugged me. I mean, I have pictures of like him breastfeeding and William like on top of me hugging me. He didn't care. Like he really took to it really well. I got really lucky in that aspect. The whole ignoring his brother thing, which only really lasted for a month. Now his relationship with his brother, so great. He loves him. He wakes up in the morning and he's like, did brother wake up? Like he loves his brother. He hugs him, cuddles him, kisses him, wants to hold him, loves him. But for a month, didn't even acknowledge his existence. Aaron loves William, like loves him. more than me, more than his dad, more than anybody in the world, more than Elmo. William is like the funniest person on earth to Aaron. But for my transition, going to 2 kids, I thought was going to be very hard and scary. For me, I don't know if I got lucky. I mean, I didn't get lucky because he had colic, but I got lucky with a really good 2-year-old who can entertain himself, which is great because at times he needs to entertain himself, unfortunately. So William watches a lot of TV, but he watches it with my grandpa. They play, and I also have to thank my easy transition for my grandpa, because my grandpa plays with my older son, and they are just like 2 peas in a pod. They play cars, they play, like, he's keeping my grandpa young and on his toes. They play together and they love each other, and that helps a lot for me, because sometimes when he just needs me, I have to be breastfeeding him, I have to be holding him. It's so helpful that my grandpa's there. My transition was way better because of my husband being off work. If my husband had not been off work, I don't know what I would have done. He helped a lot, entertaining my older son. But like I said, also got lucky with my grandpa. He entertains him a lot. So yeah, that was my transition. It was really easier than I thought. I was really worried about it, honestly. But I now don't have as much fear going from 2 to 3 as I did from 1 to 2. But I think also when you're going from 1 child to 2 children, you just have a lot of fear in general. You've never had 2 children before. And we do have a 3rd. I say when, not if. I know we're going to. If God decides to bless us with a pregnancy. But not now. I think I would just be like having an anxiety attack if I was pregnant and have this little leech. He's so cute. But yeah, I feel like the transition from 2 to 3, maybe it'll be harder, maybe it'll be different. I don't know. I feel like I'm not that worried about that as much as I was with 1 to 2. Let me know about your experiences down below. Did your children ignore the existence of their baby brother or sister? Because mine did. It was pretty funny. I wish I had more video of that, because it was like people were coming over to visit the baby and like, oh, William, you love your little brother? And he would just be like, cars, like completely ignored him. It was cute though. I have pictures of them next to each other, but he didn't even touch him. Like, he was just not interested. I think when they got into a schedule and they started doing things together, like I put them in the bath together. I do everything when I get them dressed. I change their diapers. I know my 2-year-old should not be in diapers anymore. That's a whole nother video, body training. But yeah, so that has been my transition from 1 to 2 children. Like this video, like it, and leave me a comment if you have any questions. Okay, thank you for watching. See you guys later. Bye, Aaron.